So for this lesson on chords, actual chords, we're very much leaving my comfort zone and we're heading off somewhere very different. So I'm going to show you 3 chords, a number of ways to play the 3 chords, currently tuning in standard ADAE, and I'll also do a video tuned to ADAE, although it's not going to have a huge impact and you'll see why in a minute. First things first, a little bit of music theory. This tune is in the key of A major. The Nashville numbering system is very useful in this regard. What is that? Well, if you want to deep dive in it, there's many better YouTube videos to explain it than me hacking my way through it. But the basis of it is that the scale of A has 8 notes. First note is A, and that's the 1. The 4th note is D, and the 5th note is E, 1, 4, 5. That's a very good way to remember what chords, generally speaking, crop up in Irish music. It's also known as the 3-chord trick, but it's this idea that 1, 4, 5 will get you around most Irish tunes with some variations, but that's your starting point. And in actual fact, for most kind of Western modes of music and song, it's almost always a combination of 1, 4, 5. John Prine famously said, all you need is 3 chords and the truth. He was referring to 1, 4, 5. So, without further ado, how do you make a chord? Well, the chord is made up of the 3 notes of an arpeggio. What's an arpeggio? The arpeggio, I'm going to throw this is like maths. The arpeggio is notes 1, 3, 5, 8. 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1. So the basic makeup of a chord is notes 1, 3, and 5 of a scale. So we're in the key of A major. The first note is A, the 3rd note, C sharp. 5th note is E. This is worth memorizing. A major, notes in the chord and the triad of A major is A, C sharp, and E, and any combination of those makes up, generally speaking, an A major chord. In this tune, we're going to use 3 chords, A major, D major, and E major. And the same method is used to figure out what notes go into the chord of D major. 1, 3, 5. D, F sharp, and A. And E major is going to be 1, G sharp, B. So E, B, G sharp. Now you have the makeup of the 3 chords. There are many ways to voice them. What that means is which order all of the notes go in. So just to kind of keep this pretty concise, I'm just going to show you what I do. All right. So the first chord in this tune is going to be an A major. In standard G, D, A, E tuning, you need to catch fret 2 on the G string, that's the one closest to your face, fret 2 on the D string, fret 4 on the A string, and an open E string. All right, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to play A. Again, just to keep this concise, this is one. This is one shape that I'm going to use for A. And the other is an adaptation of that, which is simply to put a high A on top. And so that's A, E, C sharp, high A. Now, in truth, when I play that one, the thumb is really just there to kind of mute the A string, and I'll explain why when we put all the chords together. So this will be one version, and this will be the other. All right, for D, we're going to have 2 versions of a D chord. One will be fret 2 on the top string and fret 2 on the bottom string, and then the 2 open strings in between. So that's a D. The other way that we're going to play D is F sharp, D, F sharp, and either a low A with your thumb or muting the string. All right, so they're the 2 D shapes. also going to have two E shapes. The first E shape will be this, which is fret 2 on the D string and fret 2 on the A string with an open E. Now, when we play this in the tune, we're actually going to catch an A on the bottom. So it's not a full E chord because it has an A in it. To make it a full E chord, we'd have to stretch up here to the B. And while that's doable and sounds fine, for the movement of the chords and the movement of the hands, we're going to keep the A on. And like I said, that string is mostly muted. And the other one includes the high G on top. Similar to the way that the D and the A are voiced, we want to put a high note in. So it's the same. This is going to be kind of like a barring thing with your index finger and your fourth finger or baby finger on the top note. So just to briefly cover all of that again, start with the E because we've just done it. Here's one shape, two shapes. A and D. All right. Let's put it together. We're basically going to do a 4 strum, so we're just going to strum on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 2 bars of the first part, the chord switches on the 4. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, switch. All right. So here's how it goes without any music behind it. We will put music to it, trust me. So we're starting out. 1. First part in just the simplest format. Let's do the second part. There's a little bit more movement because the way that the second part melody moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll see from that most of the second part is really just the top strings. Now the melody of the second part. So we're basically matching that. So once you have learned and mastered the chord shapes, that sounds very simple, then we're talking about rhythm. Now, this is the banjo. It's not a mandolin. So chopping, as we call it, I mean, that's what the mandolin players call it. Is mostly string noise and a little bit of the chord coming through. Okay, so I'm not a strumming expert, And I'm trying to keep this really simple just to give you a flavor of what this might sound like. Let's just decide on one simple strumming pattern. And for this, we're going to do down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So it'll be like as if it was a quarter note, 2/8, quarter, 2/8. So just the sound of the strings. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So we have to add chords to that. Now, that's kind of pressing the chords down and letting them ring out a little bit. And it's a little bit messy and it's a little bit dirty, but again, you're not doing solo banjo chords, so right, it's all fine. What we would probably do is kind of press in the chord for the down, and then we're going to mute the chord by lifting off for the down up. So slowed down. Okay. Now, it sounds a bit mad slow. So what it might sound like with a bit of pace behind it. Johnny Cash made a whole career out of this, right? Second half. Right, so that's your basic chopping rhythm. I mean, really basic and absolutely fine. Here that is at 80 BPM with the tune and with the backend so that you can hear what it sounds like. So you can take those chords and the shapes are simple once you know them. And then you can experiment with your right hand. you're getting more into that kind of ragtimey sound. And I know that if any actual tenor banjo players are watching, they're probably cringing, but that's okay. I'm doing my best here. Again, the idea that you would put a banjo chopping behind other people playing, you want it to kind of sound rhythmical, but not impose massively tonally. All right, let's talk about A tuning. It's essentially exactly the same, except you don't need to kill the bottom string as much. All right, so you got the open A on the bottom, which is going to ring fine for the... Now, the nice thing about being tuned to A is that this shape that we were doing for E now has the B in the bottom. Does that make sense? Because your B is here instead of there. So A is just open. B, D, E, back to the A. So again, just going to show you the two versions of the three chords. Simple. A with a high A. E with a high G sharp. D, and D with the F sharp and D in place. Because we're playing in the key of A, it is advantageous to have the G tuned up to A, because you don't have to worry as much about using your thumb to mute what's happening. Everything else is exactly the same in terms of the chord progressions and the strum. Second half. Add in the down, down, up. And then onwards from there. I should probably address that strum pattern. It's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. The emphasis. Again, pressing down on the 1. And I guess, if you're still watching, A big part of this one is the snap that happens on the 3/4. So it's down, up, down, up. We're leaning into the 1 because we're playing the chord. And then there's a snap that happens on the 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a bit more weight going into the 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. After that, then it's about accents, and I'm really so far out of my knowledge base now that I'm starting to make up terms. But if I play the last, let's say the second part, there's little push notes you can do. If you watch my right hand, it's just going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then I'm delaying where the chord lands. The emphasis there is on the offbeat, so it's on the up. And if you're still watching, you're probably truly fed up, lost, or confused, or exhilarated at this stage. I don't really know. Oh, I hope this has been useful. I'm not going to put this on YouTube. Maybe this should go on YouTube. Who knows? I don't even know. That's Bill Cheatum.